You're listening to episode number 19 of the Emotional Freedom Podcast. And in today's episode, we want to look at how people see things. Stay tuned. Hi there, I want to welcome you to the Emotional Freedom Podcast. My name is Luke Bong and I'm your host. Now, what I do is I'm the first accredited NLP trainer in East Malaysia. And what exactly is NLP, otherwise also known as Neuro-Linguistic Programming? I think what I would just call it as is practical psychology. In other words, how to use psychology in practical ways to bring about results in life. So whenever people hear about this, sometimes they have the mistaken idea that I won't go into depression, I won't feel anxiety, I don't have a bad day because I am a master of my own psychology. I will be the first to tell you that how wrong that is. And let me just share with you something that recently happened, just very, very recently. I woke up in the morning feeling really, really bad. Not just the wrong side of the bed, that kind of a bad. I'm talking about really sunk into a very dark place in my life, whereby I just felt like I felt so much of anger, I felt so much of like dissatisfaction, and I really have no idea what was the cause for it. I was just feeling really, really nasty on that day. And as a result, I just wasn't smiling and I wasn't talking. I just want to be left alone. And because it was a public holiday in Miri, my wife and we have already planned to bring the family out, for an outing. So my wife saw me and she said, maybe we should just stay at home because you clearly you're not in the mood to go out. And I said, no, let's go out because we have promised everyone. But in my heart, I was still like struggling. How can I just turn it around? I was trying so many things at that point. I was like, I really have no idea what to do. And as somebody who is an expert in this field, that can be a very frustrating feeling whereby I feel trapped. I feel trapped in my own emotions. So we went to a shopping mall in town and I still don't feel like smiling. My daughter was trying to cheer me up by just making monkey faces and all that. Normally, I would have just laughed and hug her and all that. But on that morning, I just don't feel like anything. So we went to the bowling alley. And my feeling was, let's just play a game and then we go home. We go home and let me figure it out. So we went to the bowling alley and I was like, wow, there were so many people here. So were there any available lanes? No, maybe it's not a good idea. So I told my wife and my wife said, let me go in and ask. So she went in and then she asked the counter and the counter said, they were here, they booked the whole ring, but their event is over. Now all the lanes are open already. So we went in. But because there were a lot of people crowding at the main door and the door was quite heavy, what I did was I went in first, I pulled open the door and kept it open so that my wife, my daughter, my son, and my mom could come in. And as I was making way for them to come in and I didn't want to knock into anyone, what happened was I turned and the corner of my eye, this part here, hit into the sharp edge of the television that was hanging there. The TV set that was used to display their latest promotion and things like that. And I felt like as if I was punched in my face and my jaw felt like shaking. So it was so painful. And immediately I went to a corner, just took off the glasses and checked on the mirror whether it was bleeding. My mom was so worried and my mom said, let's go home because it's a bad sign. She said, it's not auspicious. Let's go home. My first thought in my heart was, yeah, it's a bad sign. Let's go home. And instantly, another feeling popped up in my head and it was like, that's a damn funny thought that you have there, Luke. What do you mean it's a bad sign? You were just being clumsy. And believe it or not, I felt as if at that moment, when my head this part hit the television set, it felt as if someone actually reset my thinking. And those days, right, when you have the box TV set, and if the antenna was, the TV, the screen or the image was not clear, we would go and bang the set. Hopefully that by doing that, the image will become clearer. I felt as if someone has just banged my head and my thinking got clearer. Because as I was still feeling the pain, I actually told my wife, I said, you know what, as strange as it sounds, I feel good now. And I let out a laugh for the first time in the day. I actually let out a laugh. And I had a good game. I had fun after that. And when I went home, I apologized to my wife for my bad behavior. And, things went well after that. Now, what I want to talk about from that episode, I think the point is this. Very often, when we are in a particular state of mind, all the time, in fact, that will actually affect how we see things, how we actually perceive something as whether or not is it good or is it bad. Because imagine this for a moment. If let's say you have been having a great day, suddenly someone presented a problem to you, the problem could become very small. Why? Because you have had a great day. Now, on the other hand, if let's say you have been having a lousy day, and suddenly somebody gave you a small piece of good news, you probably have just felt as if like, why is this thing happening? Even though it was a small piece of good news. So the thing here is this. One of the authors, Anais Rin, said this: we don't see things as it is, we see things as we are. So in other words, if let's say right now you are going through life and you are not happy with the things that are going on around you, I think the best thing that you can do is to pause for a moment and really ask yourself this question. Is it really the things, or is it you that is causing how you see and approach that thing? It makes a huge difference. Because once you begin to realize that the source of the issue is with you, then you begin to focus on your inner person, whereby you begin to focus on the healing that you need to do, rather than trying to change external circumstances, which most of the time could be well beyond our control, isn't it? So for today, I encourage you to just slow down a bit and really ask yourself this question. For anything that you are not happy with right now in your life, is it you or is it that thing? And I think when you make that distinction, it is definitely going to help you to overcome that. Have a great day ahead. I'll see you tomorrow.